What is up, everybody? Welcome to UFC Vegas 36 Best Bet. We have Darren Till going against Derek Brunson, and we do have a 9-fight card, so we're going to try our best to find some spots on this short card here. Two rules on this show, as always. Rule number one, we're going to use current UFC lines. Rule number two, no passing. Even on a card like this where it may look like there's not many spots, we're going to try to find some spots for you guys. So what is up, everybody in the chat? We have Ron in here. Sub Brady, best of luck operating through this minefield. Yeah, I would be very cautious in terms of, parlays this week. It's a tough card. We got Hank Hill in the chat as well. We got Shadow, first one in there. Melon as well. Alex. So we can kick it around the horn here. Narco Cobb, what is up with you? Are you looking forward to this 9-fight card today?
Yeah, I mean, we lost probably my best bet of the card, but I still got a decent amount of bets on this card, and I'm looking forward to it. It's nothing special, but I think some of these fights are going to be bangers, to be honest.
I'm guessing your best bet was Martinez Rojo fight doesn't go?
Under 2.5, yeah.
Under 2.5? Okay. Yeah, I was on that as well. I was looking forward to that. Go ahead.
Sorry, and fight ends by KO, which I actually really love, plus 165 number.
Yeah, I want to see that fight in general. Z, what is up with you? Are you looking forward to this card, man?
Yeah, there's only one real bet on it for me, one tracked bet. Played some free money that I had in Bet Online, so I do have some kind of action playing DraftKings and playing the long bomb. But it is a tough card, man, and especially like what me and Narco were just talking about is when you're looking at the lower level shows as well, you can see some big value spots or big smash spots, and then you look at a card like this with a lot of competitive fights, a lot of close lines. It's not too appealing, but that's why we got this show, because we gotta find some type of value, right? So no passing allowed, and I like it. Stoked to get into it.
Let's find some spots. Wheezy was not here last week, but he is actually making his debut for Best Bet. What is up with you, Wheezy?
I'm fired up to be here, guys. Happy to join you this week. It was a gender reveal party for your Uncle Wheezy last weekend in about 100-degree heat. And so that this is going to be a lot better for me. I'm happy to be on this card with you guys because I need some help picking out some other spots either. So let's get after it, you guys. I'm looking forward to chopping it up.
All right, sounds good. Before we get started, if you guys can hit the like button, let's get those likes up. Also subscribe to the channel if you have not yet. You go check out these guys. They all three have YouTube channels that all three are putting out content as well. So let's get started. And so the first fight of the night was, of course, supposed to be Martinez Rojo, and now it's going to be Dolce Langambula going against Marc-Andre Barriault. A very interesting fight here. We'll actually start with Narco Cop. Narco, what do you have for us on this fight?
So I originally have Marc-Andre at minus 142. I got a bet there, and I also took Marc-Andre by KO round 3 plus 1400. I went back. I looked at a couple of the lines right now. I actually like something right now as it stands. I love the fight starts round 3 at minus 128. I think Marc-Andre's really durable, never been stopped in 4 losses. Dalcha has a really good chin. I mean, the time he got stopped, I mean, it was an absolute, I think it was a kick from, it was devastating. I mean, anybody probably get knocked out with that. So he's durable himself. The only thing I would be worried of is that first round Dalcha KO possibility. But, like I said, I think Marc-Andre is really durable, has a good chin himself. Right now I like that minus 128 fight starts round 3.
Yeah, definitely a solid way to approach that. And I'm with you on the round 3 Barriault prop as well. Z, what are you liking for this fight here?
Yeah, so this is one of the legs of that long bomb, lottery ticket round robin I put together. It's Marc-Andre wins in round 3. I got it plus 725. I just think, it's a gassing issue for Dalcha. One thing I wanted to say too about when Dalcha got knocked out, it was at 205. So this is at 185. So yeah, I think Mark can weather a bit of a storm, do a lot of cage pushing, a lot of stagnant positions in this fight. And then ultimately, hopefully he takes advantage of that gas issue en route to a 3rd round finish. But there's also a bet that a couple of my guests on the Fair Play podcast yesterday highlighted, which is Marc-Andre wins in round 3 or by decision. And they got that around plus 200. I think that is a really good spot if you use a book that offers that type of thing.
What line did you say on that?
I said they got it plus 200 or 210 around there. I think it's pretty good considering,
Yeah, Yeah,
if
very
you
good.
like Marc Andre, I'm assuming you like him to get the fight deep, and then you're not requiring the third round finish, but it's still in play for you. So I think Marathon got that, and I forget who else got that as well. Sorry, I had 4 guests on.
Yeah, I was watching. I forget the other guests as well. Yeah, that's definitely a solid spot there. Uncle Weezy, are you with Narco?
Scrap Capper, sorry.
Scrap Cap. Okay, that's right. Yeah. Uncle Weezy, are you with Narco and Z, or are you kind of going the other way here?
No, I'm definitely with both of these guys here. I thought that the third round prop would be something that I would be betting, but then I saw it on DraftKings and it was plus 850. I wanted to boo them till my throat was hoarse. That's not enough juice on a third round prop. But where Narco Cop got it is a fantastic 1400 third round KO. Yeah. That's a great bet. What I was looking at was by Barrio by KO or decision right now is minus 150, but the line on Barrio is around minus 170 in a lot of places. So you get a little bit of value there. But I was also kind of looking at Barrio to win by decision simply because that third round prop was so not juiced that maybe it wanted to make me root for Lungiambula to make it to decision and lose, because you're getting plus 250 on a Barrio decision. And I might play that a little bit here because I think Dalcha can win minutes with the judo and the top control, but Barrio's got a good get-up game and fantastic conditioning. I think he can win these last 2 rounds. I also think he can get him out of there early, though, but there's not enough juice in that prop. So I'm going to say the line that I would bet is Barrio by KO or decision for minus 150 to get a little bit of value over the money line.
Yeah, I definitely agree there. For me, what stuck out to me, I guess I'm going to go Barrio KO plus 200 here. And the reason being, Dolce, never lost a decision. Both of his losses are inside the distance. Barrio, definitely a decent finisher, 75% finish rate, all by knockout. Hits very, very hard. I kind of see it pretty much the same as you guys. I think Dolce may have some success early, but I do think he's going to slow down as the fight goes on. Barrio obviously has very good cardio, very good output, and I think he's going to drown Dolce in that third round. And I'm with a lot of you guys. I like the third round prop for Barrio. I got it at plus 1,400 by knockout as well, along with Narco. I believe you got that as well. So hopefully that hits. I also did sprinkle the second round KO prop just in case he got him out of there in the second round, is why I think it's like plus 925, something like that. But yeah, I think we're all on the same page here that Barrio has a really good chance of getting this done in the third round. Okay, let's move on to the next fight on the card, and we have Charles Jourdain versus Julian Erosa, which is probably one of the better fights on the card. And let's kick it to Uncle Weezy. Uncle Weezy, what are you looking at for this fight?
Yeah, this is going to be such a good fight. And one of the things I was definitely looking at is fight doesn't go to decision here because it covers both sides. Erosa definitely hits hard, and dude's got 25 wins, 11 of them by submission, 11 of them by KO. So the guy's an equal opportunity finisher. He could surprise Jourdain here. We've seen him knocked down a couple of times in the UFC. So I do like that fight doesn't go, but it's kind of juiced up around like minus 200 right now. So I also think another good way, if you want to get close to even money, is looking at that Jourdain KO line, because Erosa's been knocked out in 4 out of his 5 UFC losses. So, you could definitely see Jourdain, a guy with as much power, as much diversity in strikes, as much flashy strikes as he throws, landing something big, getting him out of there earlier. So I'm going to say, to get a little more value on the bet, instead of just betting the fight doesn't go at minus 200, we could take the more likely outcome, Jourdain by KO minus 110.
Yeah, I like that. I think there's a finish as well, and I'm with you that it is probably on the Jourdain side. For me, what I did was I did the under 2.5. It's sitting at minus 172 on FanDuel, and I think there's going to be a finish in this fight. Like Uncle Weezy said, I think the most likely scenario is that Jourdain KO, which is plus money. I do like that shot as well. Erosa is very chinny, very hittable, and Jourdain has a 100% finish rate. But on the flip side, Julian Erosa is a very good finisher himself, and although Jourdain has never been finished, we have seen him hurt multiple times. So under 2.5, it kind of covers both sides. I think we're going to get some violence in this fight. I think it's going to be a very fun fight as well. So for me, although I do like Jourdain, I do like the Jourdain knockout prop, I did take the under 2.5 rounds, minus 172 to cover both sides here. Z, what are you liking for this fight?
I like the second leg of my long bomb, which is also Charles Jourdain in round 3. Let me just see what I got that at. So I got that at plus 700. I'm not sure if that's the best line in the market or not. Oh, it's even better. 900. Nice. I think Erosa could make this a really scrappy, grindy fight. I also don't hate taking Jourdain just inside the distance generally at even money. I don't think that's a bad look. But yeah, I think for the bigger number, Erosa gets this, provides a good fight, potentially takes Jourdain down at times, but I think Jourdain's going to be able to get up, put feet on hips, and eventually put fist to face and touch that chin and see if he can knock out Julian Erosa. So, yeah, give me the round 3 just for the bigger odds, though.
Solid. Narco, are you looking at some violence here, or are you going the other way?
Violence it is. I'm pretty much on the same boat with all of you. I have fight doesn't go at minus 180. Currently, I think it's in the 200 range. But so I would probably play, currently, I would probably play under 2.5 at minus 170 like you did. Julian Erosa is a kill or be killed type of fighter. Late noticed. We also have to know that this is a short notice fight for him. It's at catch weight. And I kind of, these short notice fights usually, go under. Guys come in, they haven't really trained hard for didn't have a hard camp and they come in trying to either, go for it or get killed themselves. And Erosa's normally like that anyway. So, under 2.5, I think is a really solid spot here.
So we all are on the same page here. Dan's saying, I have my dirty, greasy fingers all over the inside the distance props here, and it looks like we are all with you there. Dan, if you guys can all hit the like button, over 100 of you in here, thank you for hanging out. We go live every Saturday, 1 hour prior to the prelims, but they actually did push it back 30 minutes, but typically 1 hour prior to the prelims on a Saturday, giving our best bet for each and every fight on the card, no matter how many fights there are. Next card, we have like 15 fights. This card, we have 9 fights, and yeah, I say we move on here. So next fight on the card, we have a very good fight. Jack Shore going against Ludovic Shalinian. And let's kick it to Z first. Z, anything stick out to you with a huge favorite in Jack Shore here?
Yeah, this is actually the only official bet that I have on the card. It's Jack Shore inside the distance. I love turning, big, huge favorites into either short favorites or slight dogs with the inside the distance props. So I got Jack Shore inside the distance minus 105. I just think, even if he doesn't finish this fight, it looks like value to me. I think he's going to be able to take the back. I like his striking a lot better. So if it's by KO or submission, doesn't matter to me. Just hopefully this giant favorite gets Shalinian out of here. And it's just a levels fight. I think not only is Jack Shore much better than Ludovic, but his previous opponent in Hunter Azure was much better than Ludovic as well. So it's a step down, big gap. I think he puts him away.
I like it. Wheezy, what are you looking at for this fight here?
I was looking at actually Shore by sub or decision at minus 300. Not really known as a knockout artist, but what it does is it gets the line from minus 600, which is almost unbettable, to something kind of bettable at minus 300. And plus, this Shalinian guy has never been finished either, and we do know that this is going to be a very difficult task for him fighting a guy like Shore on short notice. So, I think the submission covers the fact that, that would probably be how sub gets him, how Shore gets him out of there. And then if he's unable to get him out of there and he just kind of grinds him out, you got that decision prop covered as well. And you get better odds, minus 300 instead of just minus 600 on the Shore money line. That'd be how I'd attack it.
Yep, solid. Alex is saying I like the round 3 decision. Sure, plus 100. That's not a terrible line. That's
way better. That's way better than what I just gave up. Thank you, Alex.
shout out to Alex in the chat. For me, I'm going to go with Z here. I'm going to go with Shore wins inside the distance minus 120. Ludovic, you're right, Wheezy. He's never been finished, but he's never fought Jack Shore. I think the best fighter he's fought is like Vince Cachero. I just think Shore, I'm with Z here, is on a completely different level. Shore, he's a finisher. I think he's finished like 12 out of his 14 wins. And I think he gets another finish here. I do think it's going to be later in the fight, though, maybe second, third round. So what Alex did throw out there, the third round decision plus 100, I don't think that's a terrible look. But for me, I do like Shore inside the distance minus 120. For some reason, a couple days ago, it was like plus 110, plus 115 for some reason. Wish I had access to the line. But yeah, minus 120, I still think that's fairly solid. I mean, getting a minus 600 favorite who is indeed a finisher going against somebody that he's a lot better than getting it done inside the distance there. So I do like Shore wins inside the distance there, minus 120. Narco, what are you looking at here for this fight?
So I have Shore inside the distance plus 110. You could have got that line. I think if you have like William Hill, Bet MGM, those, you could have got it. Currently, yeah, I would still play him inside the distance. It's a complete mismatch. It's a short notice fight for Ludwig. Shore brings a very good pace. He's gonna grapple. He's better than Ludwig everywhere, to be honest. And I just see him eventually wearing on him and stopping him.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a levels fight. So yeah, hopefully he gets it done. I mean, I'm really big on Jack Shore this week for sure. I know a lot of people are as well.
Before we move on, Jack Shore in round 3 is also in that long bomb round robin. It's like I got it in there at plus 800. So just agreeing with pretty much everything that everyone's saying too.
Yeah, I like that, Z. That's kind of how I see the fight. I think he's going to kind of wear him down. Ludovic taking the fight on short notice. I don't think he's going to be able to keep up for all 3 rounds there. We got the general in the chat. Dan saying, give that like button a nasty, vicious, disgusting, filthy case of the pink eye boys. There you go. All right. And yeah, Chase brings up something. Chase brings up something interesting. Shore was taller at the weigh-ins. Like I thought, like on paper, right? Like Ludovic's supposed to be bigger, but Shore was the bigger fighter, which I loved seeing that. I absolutely love seeing that. Me and Uncle Weezer were talking about that the other day, saying, why lie? Why lie about your height? I don't get it. All right. So we'll move on to the next fight. And we have Weezy's main event of the evening, the fight that I know Weezy and a lot of people are looking forward to for sure. And Molly McCann, Ji Young Kim. So I will start off with Weezy here. Weezy, what are you looking at for this one here?
Yeah, I mean, if it seems like I'm not quite myself today, it's because I couldn't sleep last night, because I was anticipating this fight. Going to probably be the best fight of the year. Molly McCann versus Fire Fist, Ji Young Kim. If you're not fired up for this one, ladies and gentlemen, I don't know what to tell you, but I've got this down as my ass shaving of the week. I'm stepping up. I took the underdog on Tuesday night and said, I'm betting Molly McCann. I've got 1.5 units on her at minus 105. I just think she's going to be able to use her wrestling, which isn't great, but her wrestling's about as bad as Ji Young Kim's takedown defense and get up game. So I've seen Molly be willing to go to the wrestling. When she fights pure strikers, she goes to that wrestling to make them uncomfortable. I think her game plan is going to be the better game plan in this fight because I think she will go to that wrestling to make Ji Young Kim uncomfortable, put her on her back, win minutes, bank rounds, get a decision. I think the best bet here, though, is actually Molly McCann by decision if you could get it up around plus 150 or so. Right now in DraftKings, it's plus 130, but that's to be expected. All their props are a little less juicy than they are everywhere else.
Yep, I'm going to agree with Weezy here. I'm not as high as on McCann as you are, but yeah, I think she has a really good shot of winning here if she does go to the wrestling. And we talked about it on Stat Diggers how she's not the best wrestler, but she's relentless with it, right? She averages over 5 takedowns per 50 minutes. Kim, really bad takedown defense, really bad get-up game. And, on the feet, I don't think, although a 10-inch reach disadvantage, I don't think, Molly McCann's is too far out of the striking there because, Ji Young Kim, terrible striking accuracy. I think it's like sitting at 34%, tons of missing. Obviously, you got to give Kim the advantage in the striking, but I think the difference will be those takedowns, the control time. And, Molly McCann looks to be in the best shape she's ever been in. So maybe she's prepared to come out here and just wrestle for 15 minutes. And if she does that, I think she has a very good chance of winning. So I'm with you, Weezy. I took Molly McCann, wins by decision. It's sitting at plus 155. I do like that spot. I think the money line is getting away a little bit. I see him like minus 120 right now, minus 125 on some spots as well. So yeah, I do like the Molly McCann wins by decision. Z, what are you looking at for the fight of the night here?
Fight of the night. I'm going with a bit of a bigger number. I'm going to take Molly McCann by submission at 10-1. If she is getting copious amounts of takedowns, I think there's a chance Kim gives her back. And Molly knows that her job's on the line, so I think she's going to be a little more frantic for a finish than maybe she has been in the past, although she is kind of a frantic fighter generally. But yeah, just for that crazy number, I threw that in the long bomb round robin, and that's the type of betting card it is, in my opinion. It's not one that I want to take a lot of serious positions on, but throwing some huge numbers together to potentially win, a good chunk. That's what I'm trying to do here. So give me Molly McCann by submission. Hopefully she takes the back, gets her arms around the neck, and that would be really good for me.
Yeah, PayPal brings up that Molly was nearly subbed Procopio, and as a Procopio backer, I was sweating for sure. That armbar was deep. Alex says that McCann by decision is boosted to plus 175 on Caesars. Yeah, definitely don't hate that decision prop, but Z is taking a long shot here on the 11-1. Sub prop there. Narco, What are you looking at for this fight? Are you on the Molly McCann side or are you on the Jin Young Kim side here?
So I'm staying far away from this fight, but since Brady forces us to take something, I probably would take McCann by decision just because of the grappling. The one thing that stood out with McCann is, as you know, she's not really skilled, but she does have good fight IQ because you see like that in these fights that she knows, she can take these girls down. She does it, right? And that's her path of victory. And then when she knows she can't out grapple or out wrestle these other girls, the bigger girls, the stronger girls, or the girls that are just better grapplers than her, she doesn't initiate the wrestling. She's the one that's usually getting taken down. So yeah, I mean, her fight IQ is not bad, actually. Just going back and looking at these numbers and these fights, she's doing the right thing. It's just that she's not really skilled when she's going up against these better fighters. So yeah, I think here, like, Kim, striking is not that good. I honestly think if McCann can get in the pocket, she can probably outstrike Kim, because I really don't like Kim striking. She's just a longer fighter. But yeah, at the end of the day, I probably would bet McCann by decision.
Yep, looks like we all are on agreement that Molly McCann gets it done in some type of way. Yeah, I do like Molly McCann to get it done for sure. It looks like the line is moving in favor of Molly as of late as well. All right, so we will get to the next fight, and this is probably my most anticipated fight on the card. We have two very good prospects going at it here. Luigi Vendramini going against Paddy Pimblett, and we'll stick it with you, Narco. Who are you liking in this fight? So
I have a bet kind of against what everybody else is thinking, but I have a fight goes to decision here at plus 140. I still think, I have a bet on it. I still think that's the best bet. Just because when I go back and watch tape, Paddy Pimblett is a terrible defensive guy, outstanding, he's getting hit a lot. But the one thing I'll give him is he's got a really, really good chin. The guy doesn't really get hurt. I haven't really seen him on tape getting hurt. I know Vendramini swings hard. He throws hard. I know there's a chance that he can KO Pimblett, but I don't see it on tape because I haven't seen Pimblett really get hurt. And when you get it to the ground, I think Pimblett might be a little bit of the better grappler, but I think it's close. I think Vendramini can stay safe if he's down there. And I think it's, that's part of the reason why I think this fight goes to decision is because Pimblett has a good chin. His striking is not good whatsoever. And if this fight is to get to the ground, I think Vendramini can stay safe. So yeah, I like fight goes to decision, plus 140. I still like that bet.
There you go. Yeah, you're definitely going against the grain there. But yeah, definitely get the angle for sure. Wheezy, what are you looking at for this fight?
This is one of the hardest fights for me to get a read on because we haven't seen Pimblett yet in the UFC. I think both of these guys are fantastic grapplers. I mean, Luigi's well credentialed, and we've seen Pimblett in his tape, be really fantastic on the ground. I think Pimblett's going to be a big star, man. He's a good-looking kid, beautiful head of hair on him. I think when that kid really learns how to speak English, he's going to be a huge star, and there's going to be no ceiling on how well that he can, kind of bring the crowd in. He could be the next Conor McGregor if he just figures out the language. But I do think that Pimblett, because he's probably the slightly better grappler here, and because we've seen Vendramini unable to get takedowns, his takedown, percentage is less than 10%. That we could see Pimblett win this fight. So I'm just going to say the money line on Pimblett at minus 150. I think he wins this fight.
Yeah, I agree. It's definitely the toughest fight to call on the card, in my opinion, for sure. I mean, yeah, I'm going with Paddy as well, just not much confidence. Z, anything sticking out to you on this one?
Yeah, nothing crazy. I don't have any bets on this fight, but it's just kind of surprising to me, like with all the hype Paddy has coming in here, you'd expect him to be a bigger favorite, and then you would look to fade him, right? Because you want to fade that hype train. But I really don't think that this line is out of control. So I'm going to take a page out of my boy Marathon MMA, who's a very, very sharp MMA handicapper. He's on Paddy Pimblett's money line. So I do agree. I think that's, not a bad look. I would expect him to be a bigger favorite here. So it's just kind of a strange situation, right? Where I'm not really hyped up on Paddy. I'm looking to fade him, but I don't think this is the time. So I'm going to go with his money line just being a little bit too short.
Okay.
One more thing to add, Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Pimblett by decision. If you like Pimblett, I think is a good line at plus 380. I don't mind it whatsoever. So
Well, you just stole my play, Narco. But yeah, I was gonna go with Pimblett by decision, and I kind of am with everybody here on this one. I think that Pimblett is the better wrestler of the two. Like Wheezy said, Luigi has an 8% takedown accuracy. I think he's like 1 for 16 on takedowns. So my thinking is, I think Pimblett's going to be able to get takedowns, kind of stay safe on top, and kind of grind out a 3-round decision. But man, it's going to be very sweaty. But plus 380, plus 380. I don't know if Pimblett is going to be able to finish Luigi Vendramin on the feet. I don't see him knocking him out, and he's going to submit a legit black belt in Luigi, who's obviously never been submitted. So I think an interesting way to attack this could be that Pimblett by decision plus 380. So yeah, definitely a way to call that out, Narco. But yeah, that was going to be on that one. It's all good. Let's see what we got in the chat here. Chris saying Patty by sub. Yeah, I just don't know if he's going to be able to sub Luigi. I mean, Luigi's grappling is absolutely legit. But PayPal saying Patty's taking down cans though. Ryan liking Patty by finish. Careful with Till low output. We'll talk about that soon. This fight will be a draw. We'll see. We'll see. All right, so we will move along here, and we have Khalil Roundtree going against Modestas Bukauskas, and we will go with Z. Z, anything sticking out on this one here?
Man, how can I bet on a fighter who's dead to me? Khalil Roundtree is dead to me. I have lost on him so many times because he comes out here, he looks fantastic, he looks incredible one fight, and then the next fight he's walking out to the cage, he's already gassed out, or he knocks out Marcin Prachnio in a fight where doesn't go the distance and then lets him completely off the hook for God knows why. But I'm looking at this fight like, man, Modestas is just too hittable, and I think Khalil can put big offense on him. And I'm seeing Khalil's KO prop at like plus 200. I do see it at plus 240, at least in one spot. So that's the bet I'm going to give you. But to be honest, man, I can't put any serious money on Khalil. I've used him in DraftKings because he's relatively cheap there. And once again, I think Modestas' striking defense is just too suspect. So give me Khalil. I also think it's an interesting angle having him move from Thailand back to Vegas. So maybe he's in better shape. Maybe that's a better training environment for him, especially with COVID going on. And apparently like Thailand is in a rough spot right now. But yeah, I can't believe I'm hearing myself say this because too many times before I've said Khalil is done. I'm never betting on him. Don't want anything to do with him. He'll let you down. But when his knockout is 240 versus a striker who's very hittable, yeah. And and passing's not an option. All right, I'll say Roundtree by knockout.
There you go. Dan saying the variance between Bangkok Ready Roundtree and SpongeBob SquarePants Roundtree is too great, but I bet him at round 1 KO plus 600. I do like that, Dan, there. So, Wheezy, I know you're a big fan of Roundtree yourself. What are you looking at for this one here?
Yeah, like Z, Khalil Roundtree is dead to his Uncle Wheezy as well, so I can't do it. Abdul Razak Al Hassan, also dead to me. Can never bet on his fights again. And yeah, Khalil, I do kind of like the Khalil knockout prop here. Like Z said, Modestas is definitely chinny. He's been knocked down a couple of times in the UFC. But here's the thing that I'm looking at. I see one line that's just sticking way out, and that's Modestas Bukauskas by decision in this fight, plus 450 on FanDuel. Go watch that last fight against Oleksiejczuk. He stayed on his bike the entire 15 minutes. His footwork's great. His conditioning is great. He's fast. He can stay on his back foot here, frustrate Khalil Roundtree, who's not the kind of guy who's going to come after you and get you. He kind of waits for people to come to him. So I could see Modestas being a more active fighter here. I could see him throwing more strikes. I could see him, frustrating him, staying on his bike, jabbing him up, and winning a greasy decision here. And it's plus 450 on FanDuel, you guys. So that's a pretty fat line. That's the best I can do with this fight. And that way I get to bet against somebody that's dead to me.
Yeah, I mean, that's a great angle. Like, if Bukauskas wins, you kind of see him stick on the outside for 15 minutes, right? So, yeah, definitely do like that. Narco, are you on the Bukauskas side, or are you going to try to trust Roundtree here?
So Uncle Wheezy stole my play, but I have Bukauskas by decision at plus 380. I think that's still good. I mean, I think you could still get 380 right now if you're doing it on FanDuel or DraftKings. I think one or the other. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I also have a bet on Roundtree round 1 KO at plus 550. I think if Roundtree's to knock this guy out, I think it's in the first round. He does have that nice straight left. But you know what I noticed with Bukowskis is in that last fight versus Olajacek, Olajacek also has a nice left hand. And Bukowskis was smart. He was doing the right thing. He was circling to his left. So he was staying away from the power hand. So if he does that here, he might be able to stay safe, you know, and he's got the way better cardio. He's going to have more of the output here. And Roundtree, for whatever he is in his 4 losses or whatever, he's never been stopped. So I don't expect Bukowskis to stop him. So if you like Bukowskis, man, that plus 380 is like jumping at me, and I love that play.
Yeah, I mean, that really does stick out.
Let me just add something here. I was wrong. It wasn't FanDuel. FanDuel has plus 380. It's BetMGM that had plus 450. And look at DraftKings bringing up the rear at plus 275. Boo.
Unbelievable. Get it together, DraftKings. Okay. For me, I definitely do like that Bukowskis by decision. But for me, I did go with Roundtree. Wins in round 1 plus 470. I believe all of his finishes are in round 1. Modestus, I have serious question marks about his chin. He's been finished multiple times, dropped multiple times. Terrible striking defense. I believe it's sitting at 50% thus far in the UFC. Kind of has that tall man's defense as well. And I would not be shocked if, people are counting out Roundtree here. He's a dog against, Bukowskis after being like a minus 300 favorite against Prachnio. And now he's a dog here. I think people are counting him out, and I would not be shocked if he went in here and just, knocked out Bukowskis in round 1. So for me, if I was to play anything, I think Roundtree round 1, Roundtree knockout round 1 are definitely solid spots. But if you are on the Bukowskis side, that decision prop at plus 380, plus 450 on BetMGM, it definitely sticks out because that's kind of how I do see him winning. Let's see what people are saying in the chat here. Steven saying Aspinall or Jack Shore. Are you talking about DK? I'd probably go Jack Shore there. Roundtree's been stopped multiple times. I think he got stopped by Kudalaba, right?
Yeah, he did. He did. I totally botched that one. He did.
Oh, you're good. Dale has 0.5 units on Bukowskis. Rick liking the Roundtree round 1. Yeah, I think both of those are pretty solid angles. Bukowskis decision or Roundtree KO or KO round 1. All right, so we shall move on. Before we do so, if you guys can hit the like button, that'd be much, much appreciated. Let's get those likes up. Thank you guys so much for hanging out, all 275 of you. On an early fight card in a short fight card. Should be short and sweet this week, but I think the fights will definitely deliver, at least most of them here. We have now David Zawada going against Alex Morono. Yeah, interesting fight here. I'll kick it off to Z to start off. Z, who are you liking in David Zawada and Alex Morono?
Man, I want no part of this fight. Like, I really want to stay so far away, but you don't let us pass. And I have been forced into taking quite a bit of Zawada in DraftKings because he's pretty cheap on there. I think he's going to be a very popular play considering the line movement. It's a pick 'em. You get him pretty cheap on DraftKings. But from a betting perspective, just looking at all the numbers here, I think fight goes the distance or fight goes to decision at minus 140 there. I just think that's a little short. You know what I mean? It seems like this fight's going the distance. I'm not predicting either guy to get a finish here. So, give me that for the sake of this show, but I don't have any bets on this fight. I think it's going to be very competitive, back and forth. Probably goes the distance, but who knows, So give me Zawada finish for DraftKings, but for the sake of the show, I'll say goes the distance.
Yeah, definitely a tough fight to call. I think if people got Zawada at like the plus, I think it opened up at like plus 165, right, plus 160. You definitely did your job there, but the line is down to plus 108, plus 110. Narco, do you have anything for this fight?
Yeah, I have a small bet on Zawada by decision at plus 270. I still think that line is out there. I just, this is I think it's a late notice fight for Morono. He's scheduled to fight sometime in December, so he took this. He looked kind of out of shape at the weigh-ins. I didn't like how he looked. So I think Zawada's pace is going to be better here. He's the one that's in better condition here. He had the full camp. Zawada by decision plus 270.
Uncle Weezy, what do you have for us? Are you on the Morono side or are you on the Zawada side here?
Well, it's only fair that I stole Narco's pick last time that he'd steal my pick this time. I like that Zawada decision line. I mean, look, the guy's plus 100 to win the fight. The fight is minus like 150 to go to decision. So I kind of like that, Zawada, if they're saying it's a 60%, 62% chance it goes to decision, Zawada, by decision at plus 240, plus 250, you could get it plus 275 in a couple places, get a lot more juice on that plus 100 line that you're getting on the money line. Morono's super tough. So yeah, and what Narco Cop said was really important is that Morono's taking the fight on short notice, and Zawada's a damn good striker, really good all around. So he'll be probably the better conditioned guy at this point, and I like him to win it by decision.
Yeah, that decision prop plus 270 is not terrible. For me, I'm actually going to go against the grain here. I'm going to go with the fight doesn't go to decision at plus 120. I just think it's going to be a very fun, a very exciting fight. David Zawada, kind of a killer be killed fighter, has an 89% finish rate, 65% by knockout, has a ton of power and dangerous on the mat as well. Zawada has been finished in half of his losses, 2 by knockout, 1 by submission. We have seen Morono finished 3 times, technically 2. The Nico Price one did turn into a no contest. I just think it's going to be a very fun firefight. Both these guys bring it. And at plus 120, I'm willing to, take a shot if I was forced to take a bet. But man, this fight is one that is very, very tough to call. And I think it can really go either way. So I definitely do get the line movement. But for me, I guess I'll take a shot on the violence at plus money there. All right, we'll move on to the next fight. We do have the co-main event. Yeah, very intriguing matchup for this one. Tom Aspinall, Sergey Spivak. I've heard a bunch of hot takes on either side. And it looks to be like one of the most debated fights on YouTube and MMA Twitter out there. We have Tom Aspinall, Sergey Spivak here. And let's kick it to Narco to start it off. Who are you liking for this fight? Very interested to hear what you have to say.
I have a bet on Tom Aspinall by KO plus 120. I just think he's the cleaner striker. One thing I was shocked, when they had at face-offs, they were pretty much the same size, which kind of surprised me. I thought Aspinall was going to be the bigger guy. He wasn't, but I still think he has the better striking. He has more power. He's supposedly a BJJ black belt. I haven't seen too much of his grappling. So I honestly think this fight stays standing. He's going to knock him out, and it's probably going to be in round 1. So, Spivak, for whatever he is, he's pretty durable. I don't like his hands because, you go back and watch the Oleinik fight. He kept landing over and over on him. And, Oleinik is short. He does have kind of long arms, but he's not a good striker. And if you let Oleinik land on you like that, Aspinall is definitely going to be able to land if this stays standing. And I think he's got a lot more power than Oleinik.
I like it for sure. Z, what are you looking at for this fight here?
Yeah, I agree with Narco. I'm going to get a little bit more aggressive with it. I do see Aspinall in round 1 by KO at plus 200. So that's a pretty specific outcome. I don't hate taking him inside the distance as like a minus 130 or 120 where it is. I like what Narco has, KO at 120, I think you said. But I agree. I think the speed difference here early is going to be huge. And I really like Tom's striking mechanics. So it's a bit risky considering there's club and sub. There's, the fight could go late. But for the sake of the show, give me Tom Aspinall by knockout in round 1. Once again, I'm getting that at plus 200 in Bet Online. Or there's also just his round 1 at plus 175. So I see that out there as well. I don't think that's a bad look either.
Solid. We'll keep with me. Same thing for me, Z. Aspinall wins in KO round 1. I think if he does win, it's KO round 1. I mean, he hasn't won outside of the first round by KO ever. He has 1 second round finish, and that was against Andrei Arlovsky by submission. Yeah, I think he's going to start really fast here. Spivak, I'm not too impressed with this striking. Pretty hittable, and I think Tom Aspinall does get him out of here. I do, although, have some serious concerns if this does get into the second and third round, as we have seen Aspinall slow down in the past. I have question marks about his takedown defense and all that, but I think that Aspinall does put him out here early, and I don't think we get a lot of questions that we want to get answered here. So I'm with you guys. I think Aspinall does catch him here, and it catches him early, round 1 knockout, plus 240. Wheezy, are you on the Spivak side, or are you going with an Aspinall prop here?
So I'm going with, I'm not overthinking this one. I'm just using fight doesn't go to decision as a parlay piece here at about minus 275. I think it covers both sides. Aspinall definitely the more likely to win this fight. Spivak taking it on short notice. And the most likely scenario is that Aspinall just gets him out of there early using those incredibly fast and powerful hands of his. However, if Spivak dirties this fight up, if he gets it to the ground, if he starts wearing on Aspinall, we've never really seen Aspinall in his short career go past a couple minutes into the second round. So even if Spivak does have success, I don't think he's winning this fight by decision. I think he'll get Aspinall out of there in the third if he does have success with the takedown game, with the top game, and the ground and pound. So, yeah, I think it covers both sides. I think it's extremely safe. I would be just shocked if any of these guys got their hand raised via decision in this fight. So, minus 275, fight doesn't go to decision. Use it as a parlay piece.
Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I also see it minus 255 on 5 dimes as well. We have Clint in the chat. What is up, Clint? How you doing? He's saying people forget that old man Alexei has a deadly ground game. Yes, he does. That Spivak had to look out for it. Yes, sir. Tom isn't taking anybody down. Takedowns open the striking up. Yeah, we'll definitely see. I have a ton of question marks. I think Clint does have a bet on Spivak, and I think he beat the line limit, so good for you. Yeah, I cannot wait for that fight. Chris saying not at 100 likes yet. Smash that like. Yes, sir. Let's get to 100 likes there. We have a Milk Me in the chat. Always nice to see Milk Me in there. Aspinall inside the distance. Yep, the Rojo fight is off. Pick is Aspinall, boys. Aspinall punched himself out against Austin. Yeah, he did slow down on that fight. And that's the fight he got submitted in, right? Austin Stewart. And then Sergey isn't good. Hey, come on. I think Sergey's good. I think, and he's young as well for a heavyweight. I think he's good. Yep, Sir Clinton in the chat. All right, so we shall move on.
Brady, just before we move on, one thing about the Stewart Austin fight and even the Lucas fight, me and Weezy were talking about this, but my take on that is you're going off tape or a result from 6 years ago, and Aspinall is still a fighter in his 20s. So over the course of 6 years, a fighter in their 20s can make drastic improvements. And I just don't really think banking on something that happened that long ago is really that valid, considering Aspinall's age. Maybe if he was now a 35-year-old fighter, you could say, all right, he's already been developed. But considering his age and the time in between, I don't know. To me, I'm not putting a lot of stock into those outcomes.
Yep, go ahead, Narco.
One more thing to just for people to think about. When I went over looking at this fight, I saw the interview they had with Spivak, and he mentioned this, and it's pretty significant to me. He said to them, "This is the first time I've ever experienced this coming in on short notice." So he also said there that he was extremely tired, extremely sleepy. So I mean, that's something to consider because he said that on Wednesday. So and this is the first time he's ever been on a short notice fight. So
Sleepy Sergey, that's a new MMA GOAT.
Hey.
So he's making excuses before the fight starts. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely something interesting to mention because in his last fight against Oleinik, he looked very tired in that fight. I don't know if he has the gas tank to wrestle Aspinall for 15 minutes there. But yeah, I'm on the Aspinall side as we all are. Yeah, interesting point you mentioned, Z. It's tough because, yeah, I was watching tape on Aspinall, and it was like 5-6 years ago. He was getting taken down like crazy. But, I mean, he's a young guy. You got to assume he's making improvements. But on the flip side, we haven't seen those improvements yet. So I'm kind of, up in the air about it. I do have some question marks about him. But, yeah, the short notice aspect of things, I don't love that for Sergey in a fight that if he wants to win, he's going to have to wrestle for 15 minutes or up until he does get a late finish or whatever. All right, so main event time here. Very excited to hear you guys' thoughts on this one. We have Derek Brunson going against Darren Till. Before we get into it, if you guys can hit the like button, also subscribe. Let's try to get to 100 likes on the video. That'd be sweet. And then make sure you guys tune in every Saturday, 1 hour prior to the prelims. We do have no card next week, but me and Weezy will be on Stat Diggers tomorrow, giving an extra early look for UFC Vegas 37, I believe it is, which is going to be 15 fights. So that means me and Weezy are going to be grinding all night tonight and all day tomorrow. So that should be fun. But yeah, tune in tomorrow, Stat Diggers, 7:15 p.m. Eastern time, and they will be back for Best Bet in a couple weeks here. So Derek Brunson, Darren Till, we will start off with Weezy. Weezy, what do you like for this fight here?
Yeah, one of the props that I found that was really juicy for this fight, and it kind of fits in with the way I see it playing out, is Derek Brunson by decision is plus 500 here. And I think if Brunson wins this fight, that he probably does get it done by decision because it means he'll be fighting to his win condition, which is wrestling winning minutes and banking rounds. And plus, I do think that the striking will be just a little bit closer than a lot of people think because of Darren Till's low volume style. 4.5 significant strike attempts per minute is very bad optically. And we've seen him just kind of not have any output at times. And now that he's up at 185, fighting the first true 185er in that Gastelum used to be at 170 and Whitaker used to be at 170, even though Whitaker is obviously a natural middleweight frame. This is the first guy that he's ever fought at 185 that spent his entire career up there and has that legit middleweight wrestling pedigree. This is going to be difficult. If you look at Derek Brunson's wrestling statistics in the UFC, they are absolutely eye-popping. 29 takedowns, only 1 takedown against. He's only yielded 2% control time while he's just under 30% in terms of controlling his opponents. Or I'm sorry, it's even more than that. But the guy's wrestling statistics are absolutely fantastic. I could see him banking 3 rounds here. And if he does that, why bet Brunson at plus 130 or 140 when you could get him at plus 500 by decision? I think it's something you could put a quarter unit on and bank, get a unit and a half back after you get your original investment. So yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Brunson by decision plus 500.
Yeah, that line definitely does seem wide there to me as well. Mayburn saying, we still at 9 fights. Yes, sir. We're still at 9 fights. Hopefully we keep 9 fights there. Dante liking Brunson decision. Clint liking Till round 4. Z, who are you liking in this fight? Are you liking Brunson or are you liking it Till? And what prop do you like?
Man, it's such a tough fight for me because I always underrate Brunson, and I've typically been a pretty big fan of Till. I do like his game. And when I consider how this fight's going to play out, in my head, I just see 2015 Brunson running chin first onto an intercepting left-hand counter, be it down the pipe or up the middle. But I think Asphalt actually has a good comment right there. Smash the over 1.5 on the main event. I don't think that's a bad spot, man. I think it's around minus 200. Personally, I don't actually have it, but it's just not really my style. But I think that's pretty good. And in the long bomb round robin, I have Till round 2, so that would be optimal for me. But I don't know. This is just a very, very tough fight for me, to be honest. I think the sharpest way to play it, I think, is the over 1.5.
Okay, over 1.5. I do see it minus 200 on Betway, minus 225 on 5 dimes. Yeah, I mean, I can't disagree with that. I think it does go over myself. Narco, anything stick out to you on this main event here?
I don't have anything big on this. I just see a huge cardio advantage to me, and I think Till round 4, round 5 is a good bet at plus. I got him at plus 2,200 and plus 2,600 by KO. What I do see is Till has a very good takedown defense. Till has a good get up game. He doesn't sit down there when he gets taken down. I think he's gonna make. I mean, Brunson might possibly get some takedowns, but he's going to make him work for those takedowns. And if you go back and you see that Holland fight, he wasn't reacting well to punches. He was deathly gassed, towards the end of that fight. And Holland doesn't really make you work, for those takedowns. So Till is going to make you work. I think he's going to get him tired here. And that's why I like those late round props. But also like, I kind of like Till by KO at plus 140, 145 too.
Yep, I'm going to completely agree with you. I like what you brought up about the Holland fight because Holland and Till are 2 completely different fighters. Holland, terrible takedown defense. I actually think it's under like 50%. Did not really make an effort to get back to his feet at all in that fight. But when it was on the feet, like there were a ton of sketchy moments. I think Holland hurt Brunson bad at one point, and Brunson was able to get a takedown pretty easily there. I mean, if Till hurts Brunson, he's not going to be able to do that. I mean, I think Till is going to have 25 minutes to find that knockout shot. And if I was to bet anything, which, by the way, FanDuel opened up the Till knockout prop at plus 340. That's crazy. It's now plus 145. And yeah, that's going to be mine here. I think, 25 minutes to do it. I think that at some point, Till is going to find the chin of Brunson, who's been knocked out, I think, like 5 or 6 times. The chin is definitely not there. And for Brunson to win, I kind of think he's going to have to use takedowns here, and that's going to acquire a ton of energy being able to take down Till, who has a good takedown defense, and hold down Till, who's a very good get-up game as well. And I see at some point, if Till does not knock him out early, I'm with you, Narco, that I can definitely see a 4 or 5 round KO where Brunson's completely gassed out, very tired, and Till just puts it on and knocks him out. So for me, instead of playing the Till money line, which is I think like -170, I'm going to go with the KO instead of +145 because I do think that's his win condition. And if Till does not knock out Brunson, I actually have concerns about him winning the fight. Like Till, very low volume. We've heard it all week. And I think Brunson will be able to mix in takedowns here or there. So for me, it's Till knockout. I like Wheezy's Brunson by decision because if Brunson wins, I kind of feel like it is by decision as well. All right, guys, we did it. Went about 50 minutes, kind of a shorter card this week. Next show is going to be long as we keep the 15 fights that are on the card, which we never know. But I will kick it around. We'll start with Narco. Narco, thank you for coming on. Where can they find you, and what do you usually have going on throughout the week in terms of MMA content?
Thanks, Brady. Thanks for having me on, like usual. I just started my channel recently, Narco Cop MMA. I've been throwing out content more and more. I'm going to have a weekly show on Thursday nights, every time there's a UFC card. And then I'll also mix in some, PFL stuff like that. So yeah, Narco Cop MMA on YouTube, Narco Cop on Twitter. That's it. Thank you.
Sounds good. Yeah, go check him out, guys. Definitely a very sharp guy. Glad to have him on the Saturday show. Z has been killing it with the content as of late, doing a ton of different promotions. I know he's been very busy. Z, let him know where they can find you and what you have going on throughout the week.
Yeah, thanks for having me on the show, Brady. Much respect. Although this was a painful one to get through. Hopefully there's cards in the future with a lot better spots. And yeah, picking my spots is something I've been trying to do. That's why I'm targeting like lower level shows and yeah, just trying to pick my spots. But people can find me at Z's MMA on Twitter, on YouTube. Hit me up. Go sub to my channel. I do a weekly show on Friday where I have guest gamblers come on. This week, Uncle Wheezy was kind enough to come on, and I like doing it that way, just one-on-one, get some good discussion going. So I do that. I do prediction videos, do some live streams as well during the fights. So yeah, just hit me up on Twitter, YouTube, Z's MMA.
Yeah, go check him out, guys. And then Wheezy, what is up? Good luck to you this card, man. I know we'll be talking about the card as well, but where can they find you and what do you have going on throughout the week?
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter at MMA Wheezy. You can find me on YouTube, Uncle Wheezy. I do balls deep breakdowns of fights every week. I do a full card breakdown called Just the Tip. And I'll be on Pub Sports Radio every Sunday night with my man DFS by the Numbers doing stat diggers, and every Tuesday night on Pub Sports Radio at 6 p.m. Central Time doing a DraftKings show. So yeah, you can catch me in a few different places. Looking forward to doing this whenever you need me, Brady. I love this Best Bet show. It's been fantastic doing it. Thank everybody for hanging out with us today, and good luck on all your bets.
Yeah, for sure. And you guys can find me, DFS_numbers on Twitter. Instagram is DFS by the numbers. You can follow me on YouTube as well. Hit the subscribe button. I have a ton of content throughout the week. Me and Uncle Wheezy do a main event deep dive every Monday. My prediction video usually comes out on Tuesday, DraftKings Wednesday or Thursday, live streams on Friday and Saturday. Tons of content, then also on Pub Sports Radio. They will be going live coming up here. I think they're going live at 2 o'clock. That's when the card is now supposed to start. Go check them out as well there. Me and Uncle Weezy are on there Sundays and Tuesdays, like you mentioned. And yeah, if you guys can hit the like button, we had a ton of people in here today for a card that, maybe not the most name value, maybe not the most fights, but I think it should be some pretty exciting fights here. So again,
no one knows what to bet, Brady. Nobody has any bets on this card. They need us.
Exactly. It's a card where you got to really dig for spots. And I do think we brought up some spots that really did stick out there. So that's about it, guys. Good luck for UFC Vegas 36. And we will talk to you very soon.